Hi there. In goal number 4 of this unit, what we're working on is factoring a trinomial with the leading coefficient when it's not equal to 1. There's a really great method out there called bottoms up. It takes away the idea of guess and check, and it puts it so that you can literally just do the problem as a systematic approach instead of just guessing and hoping for the best and trying to logically work through it that way. To do these problems, let's go ahead and zoom in on this first one here. We're going to do like a little graphic organizer to actually work through these problems. So in doing this, let's make what's called, we call this kind of the X method here. What we're going to do is we're going to take the value that's on the middle right here. We're going to take that 11 and we're going to put it directly on the top of our X. The value that's going to go on the bottom is going to be A times C. Now when we look at this, our A is this coefficient here, B is the coefficient here, and C is this coefficient right here. So that means A times C would end up equaling negative 60. Now what are we trying to do with these two numbers? What we're trying to do is find a connection between them. So what we're going to look for are the factors of 60, of negative 60. So we're going to find the factors of negative 60 that add up to 11. Go through and list out the factors. You have 1 and 60, 2 and 30, 3 and 20, so on and so forth. But the values that we're actually looking for this would be 15 minus 4. You can check it. 15 minus 4 is 11, and 15 times negative 4 is negative 60. This is the part that you have to really pay attention to what's about to happen because a lot of people forget this step. What we're going to do is we're going to take the A value that's listed right here, this 5, and we're going to divide both of these values by 5. Now we're not done. We have to take each one of these fractions and reduce them if it's possible. So when we reduce this first one, 15 divided by 5 is simply equal to 3. Negative 4 over 5 does not reduce, so we would leave it the way it is. So what you've got now are your factors. So if we take this 3, let's bring it down here. This is my first factor. We would end up with an x plus 3. If we take the second one and bring it down, we end up with x minus 4 over 5. Now, I still haven't done anything with the whole bottoms up. That's why it's called bottoms up, right? There's a method somewhere in here about the bottoms up. What we're going to do is we're going to take this bottom value and we're going to move it up to the front. So what this will turn into then is x plus 3 and then 5x minus 4. This is our final factored answer for this. Okay? Play it back. Hopefully you understand it, but it's a nice little organized systematic approach for how to actually factor this until you get really good and you can start doing these mentally. Let's go on to the second problem here. We have 6x squared plus x minus 12. Let's make our cross. We end up with a 1 on top, a negative 72 on the bottom. The values that we use to add up to 1 would be 9 minus 8. What factors... 9 minus 8 is 1, and 9 times negative 8 is negative 72. We're going to use the A value right here to divide both of these by the A value, which is 6. You can't move on until you reduce them, so let's reduce these fractions. 9 over 6 becomes 3 over 2, and negative 8 over 6 becomes negative 4 over 3. Let's use these to now write out the factors. So my first factor here is going to be x plus 3 over 2. And the second factor right here is going to be x minus 4 over 3. So now let's do the whole bottoms up thing. The 2 will get moved to the front and become a 2x plus 3. And the 3 will get moved up to the front and become a 3x minus 4. And this is your final answer. Okay? So hopefully you followed those. Give them a shot. Give them a try again. Watch them if you need to. But there's two problems down here. You have first 3x squared plus 11x minus 4, and then 2x squared minus 7x minus 30. Pause the video, try these problems, and then let's check the answers. Okay. Here is the now worked out solution for this. Hopefully you were able to get them. Put 11 here, negative 12. The values that we're going to use are going to be 12 minus 1. We're going to divide by 3 on each of these. This equals 4. So my first factor here is going to be x plus 4. This is not going to be reduced, so negative 1/3 will just be x minus 1/3. And we'll move the 3 up front, so we end up with 3x minus 1. And there's your final answer. Last one, letter D. Same steps. Make your x. Negative 7 on top. Negative 60 on the bottom. The factors of 60 are going to be, let's list them out. 1 and 60, 2 and 30, 3 and 20, 4 and 15, 5 and 12. There we go. So we're going to use 5 and 12, and we're going to do 5 minus 12. Divide both of these by 2. That's that A value there. We end up with a negative 6 for the right one. So that's going to be x minus 6. And for the left one, we end up with 5 over 2, which doesn't reduce. So that will then become, sweep the 2 up front, we get 2x and then plus 5. Hope this helps. Good luck with this. Practice makes perfect. Don't forget. You do need to be proficient at this, so definitely practice all the problems that you can. Okay? Have a good day.